Hello and welcome back to Continental Club Extra. We've witnessed one of the biggest shocks in World Cup history. Forget about Brazil being thrashed 7-1 by Germany, Senegal beating France on the opening day of the 2002 World Cup, because we've witnessed Saudi Arabia beat Argentina 2-1. Coming up on today's show, we will be discussing where it went wrong for Argentina. We'll be heaping praise on a Saudi Arabia side that very much deserve it. And we'll be asking, is Messi doomed to never win the World Cup? But let's kick off with Argentina, Pat. What did you make of their performance and where do you think it went wrong for them on this occasion?
Well, of course, they went into this game as, heavy favourites. You expect them to against Saudi, but even by Argentinian standards, this is a strong Argentina side. They're unbeaten since the 2019 Copa America, 2 Copas America ago. And frankly, their defensive record, particularly in qualifying, was sensational. I think it was 8 goals conceded in 17 games. They've won 26 matches since that defeat and the Copa America. So this should have been a walk in the park and probably their easiest game of the group stage. I think that'd be fair to say. A little bit of controversy before the match about the selection. Otamendi starting in defence over Lisandro Martinez. A lot of people not happy about that. But actually, it was Christian Romero who ended up giving the goal away for the equaliser. Messi had put them ahead early on with that penalty, slightly controversial one. But I don't know. I look at these stats and I don't think this is that bad. And when I was watching it, I thought, this isn't that bad either. You know, people were saying, this is an appalling performance. And I thought, it doesn't seem that way to me. They're playing through midfield okay. They ended up with 15 shots to 3. Saudi Arabia scored 2/3 of their attempts, and it wasn't because those were such big chances, I thought. It was because they happened to put them in the corner, and they deserve credit for that, but I wouldn't expect it to necessarily happen again. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't think there were any warning signs here. After Argentina went 2-1 down, that amazing goal into the top corner, what an historic World Cup moment that will be. They were a little bit toothless. They really created one big chance, I thought, over the kind of back third of the game, which was, I think, for Martinez when it kind of bobbled through. But 10 shots after they went behind, 5 of them were headers. I think only 3 of them were with a foot in the box. So almost nothing that you'd really expect them to score. That's a bit troubling. And when you look at some of the performances in this game, Papu Gomez didn't create a chance, had 1 shot, 0 dribbles. Rodrigo de Paul, 1 shot, 0 chances created, 0 dribbles. This is troubling stuff. However, let's be honest, if it weren't for the fact that they had, was it 3 goals ruled out in the first half, and one of them a particularly dodgy one, Lautaro Martinez's armpit hair offside, then we wouldn't be talking about this at all, and we'd be saying, oh, well done Argentina, they've started with a really solid win. So I'd rather give praise to Saudi than necessarily criticise Argentina, because there's not a huge amount in this game that makes me think we were wrong to peg them as one of the favourites before the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those selection issues are particularly interesting because Alexis McAllister has been used a lot in recent games on that left-hand side of midfield, and Papu Gomez, as you said, really difficult game, didn't really exert much influence, and he's had a really poor season for Sevilla ever since leaving Atalanta.
Yeah.
Not really been the same player at all. Romero missed the previous 6 games with Spurs through injury. Was he rushed back too soon? Because he just didn't seem to have that recovery pace for that first goal. Henry?
You can maybe suggest it was some naivety, just assuming that you could ease them in for a game against Saudi Arabia, and they just got caught short by a team that, once those goals are disallowed in the first half, once they go in 1-0 down at half-time, they suddenly think, hold on a second, we've got a foothold in this game, we can go after it. They clearly had the majority of support in that stadium, and when they get that first goal, they're just going for it. And I think that just shows you what momentum can do in a tournament like this, which I thought Ecuador was so clever against Qatar, because they really just pummeled them for the first sort of 20 minutes and sort of crushed their...
Take the life out of them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, Saudi were given a moment to breathe, and then once you're in a winning position and you've got everyone buying into that same mentality, then you can see what can happen. I mean, for that, huge credit has to go to the defence. Absolutely massive performances all round. Al Tambakti at the centre half, he was a monster, sort of celebrating every last-ditch challenge, every block. That's cool. I love to see that kind of stuff. The keeper, Oasis, he made 5 saves, but none of them were particularly impressive. As you said, there were lots of good sort of camera moments, but that's what you can take from that, really. And I think we do have to shout out the left-back, Yasser Al-Sharani, who took that horrific knee to the head, but he's been so important. He's played that every minute for Saudi in qualifying. He's clearly a big part of that side too. In this game, 6 clearances, 6 interceptions, 3 tackles. These are massive numbers. But I mean, just to kind of beef up how impressive this Saudi result is, though. I mean, looking at their previous results, there was nothing to suggest this was going to happen whatsoever. I mean, they'd won 2 of their last 10 games. That included North Macedonia and Iceland. Fine, decent results, but nothing on an Argentina that looked impossible to score against, let alone beat. And actually, under Hervé Renard, they don't concede very often, rarely more than 1, but they don't score much either in that time there. But Hervé Renard, what a guy, what an iconic kind of international manager, I think, like legend of the AFCON
good-looking guy as well.
Yeah, won the AFCON with Zambia and Cote d'Ivoire, and his tactics were epic. He just made them play a high line. He kept them pressing Argentina. It's interesting what you say. It just looked like Argentina ran out of ideas, because I think they'd have expected the Saudi team to sit back and they'd have had space, because we saw moments where Messi was able to dribble, but Saudi didn't give them that time and opportunity. They stayed high, they kept with their men, and I think they kind of suffocated Argentina in moments and limited the sort of big chance creation. So yeah, massive result for them, and as you said, some amazing goals. Al Shadi, what a great finish for the first one, right in the bottom corner. It has to be there. It can't be anywhere else, really. And then Al Dawsari for that goal. I mean, top corner, wicked. As you said, that'll be on show reels for a long time.
Just to back up something that you've said there, those 10 shots I was talking about after they went behind, 7 of them were from set pieces, 3 from open play, which really does show you their inability. And it was kind of a little bit, I mean, that performance from Al-Shirani at left back was helped a little bit by the fact that this team really didn't have much pace in it at all. They immediately looked brighter, I thought, when Alvarez came on towards the end. Before that, it was really, well, Martinez runs in behind or Messi does something magical, and that can't run forever. You can't do that the whole way through the tournament. That's actually how they started the World Cup back in, was it 2014, where they had that really grindy 1-0 against Iran in the first game. You kind of wondered if it could have ended up like that, but even worse as it turned out.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder whether he'll make any changes for that next game against Mexico as well, because Julian Alvarez potentially more suited to that role that Lautaro Martinez was playing. I mean, Lautaro Martinez is kind of the foil of Lukaku for Inter Milan, who's more of the target man, but obviously for Argentina, it's kind of reverse. But it would be remiss of us not to talk about Lionel Messi, guys. He's obviously the big topic going into this World Cup. He's been phenomenal for PSG this season, 11 goals and 14 assists in 18 Liga and Champions League games, getting back to that Barcelona best after a difficult first season in Paris. He's averaging a goal and assist every 63 minutes for PSG this term. To put that in context, when he scored 50 league goals in 2011-12, it was around 50 minutes per league goal contribution, per league goal or Champions League goal contribution, I should say. So really in fantastic form, coming into his 5th World Cup, feels like his final one, under his 5th different manager as well, which I think tells a story as well. Like, he has been slightly undone by his manager's weaknesses in previous tournaments, but overall, his World Cup record is not brilliant. He's yet to score a knockout goal. He's got 7 goals in 20 World Cup games. That's the same as Ronaldo in 3 fewer games as well. And in this game, you know, he got that penalty early on. He set out Lautaro Martinez for at least one of his offside goals as well. But it wasn't Messi at his free-flowing best, I don't think. Not helped by an Argentinian performance that was sort of lacking with a sort of attacking verve at points. Only in this game, 2 dribbles, 3 key passes, 4 shots. Not a disaster.
Oh, terrible.
Not
Oh,
a disaster,
goodness.
to clarify. But not, you know, the Messi we were hoping for, or the goals really we were hoping for in this opening game, I think it's fair to say.
There was that one where the keeper was out of position and he was twisting and turning on the edge of the box when they towards
Yeah.
the end, and the fact he didn't get a shot off was so un-Messi. That was really strange.
That was going to be a bit controversial though, because I think that's when that defender had been
Sure,
poleaxed.
yeah.
So I think if that had gone in, there would have been a real sort of, you know, fair play moment or fair play discussion, really. But as I say, they've got Mexico coming up on Saturday, and they've got a great record against Mexico. They've won 8 of their last 9 games. Henry, are we still backing Argentina to make it through?
Yeah, I think you made a good point that, you know, Spain lost to Switzerland, didn't they, when they went on to win the World Cup. And as we've said, it wasn't a horrible performance by any means. I think they have to remove the players who are out of form, bring in players like McAllister who are in form and really and go for it. I'm confident they'll beat Mexico. I'm more confident they'll beat Poland as well. But I mean, Mexico will be up for that. I mean, if they'll know that victory there can knock them out potentially of the World Cup, then they'll be gunning for that. So yeah, I'm excited to see, but yeah, Argentina will be fine.
It couldn't be a bigger game. It couldn't be a bigger game. Lose this, Messi's World Cup dream is over. One of the greatest players, if not the greatest player of all time. It's going to be absolutely heartbreaking. Final word to you, Pat. If you were the Mexican coach, what would you be targeting coming up against this Argentina side? Did you see any particular weakness that they can exploit?
Well, I think trying to drag Romero out of position is always kind of a good idea, because Romero playing centre-back in this game but is almost like a DM. He just goes hunting for the
it's
ball
quite
wherever
rash,
he
yeah.
sees it. So I would wonder if you could pull him out of position and try and get in behind him. But also, I think the way that Saudi adjusted in the second half, Renard's decision to, rather than play the really high line, but to drop off a little bit, I think that was really a key for them. It really depends what lineup they play. They might just get blitzed. I don't know. But look, the main thing is Messi has a sponsorship deal with Saudi Arabia. And he did his job today, publicised Saudi Arabia. So if he gets Argentina out of the group as well, then 2 birds with 1 stone.
Love it. Guys, that's our thoughts on Saudi Arabia's shock 2-1 victory over Argentina. What did you guys make of it? Let us know in the comments down below. And stay tuned for our future World Cup reviews. We've got one coming up either this evening or tomorrow morning on that France game. So look ahead to that, and we'll catch you next time.